Yes, it is. Welcome in here, episode 92 of Burns and Berman.
Hi, everybody.
We are live on Twitch and YouTube.
Bingo. What's up, everyone?
Come in here.
We're
We
back.
are going to be joined in this episode by someone that I have known for a while. His name's Austin Gordon. He's going to be a quarterback at Mount Union University next year. BT Camps connections going way back here. We're having some issues just with connection and all that, but he should be here very shortly. In the meantime, we do have his highlights on Huddle. So if you want to, because I haven't really watched these yet either. You were watching the first couple, so yeah, let's pull this up while we wait.
Obviously, he's the quarterback, guys. When you're watching this,
yes, he is the quarterback.
Look at that pretty. Look at that rope.
Okay,
that's a rope.
Working. This is not.
What?
It is laggy, very laggy.
All right, then you pull it up, bro.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. Because that did not.
Dude, I told you my Wi-Fi is literally a shitter. It's literally horrible. Oh my god.
Yeah, I've had. Yeah, your Wi-Fi really is bad because you're really pixely right now. But
yes,
I've been loud in the group of the Madden reskin people. I've been in that group. The more I see about it, the better I feel. The better, the more that comes out, the less and less worried I've been, because I was heavy in this is going to be a Madden reskin. My expectations are low. That was where I was. But everything that they put out, everything that we are hearing, just makes me feel better and better about the game.
Dude, all it needed was mascot mode, and it would have been perfect. That's like the one thing that it needed, bro. Mascot mode was the best. Like, dude, whenever it would be like the boys, all having like a sleepover or something back in middle school, like we would run so many tournaments on mascot mode. That was like the best part. And also, the only other thing that I don't like is that Road to Glory doesn't start in high school.
Yeah.
Like, that's so weird to me. Like, what's the point then if it doesn't start in high school? That was the whole, road to glory.
I'm not sure. Here, let's take a look here at these highlights, though. Is it working does this look good?
Yeah. No, I'm good. Like, you guys aren't lagging at all. Like, I might, but, you guys aren't. Everything's playing good.
Okay, cool. So, yeah, this is what we'll wait for Austin here to get in. Let's take a look at some highlights and see what Mount Union's getting. St. Paul's quarterback.
Yes, sir. He was, what's it called? Third best QB in St. Paul school history.
Pretty good. That's a very, very, very good lacrosse school. This is when you hear about the top lacrosse schools in the country, this is the conference. And he's in here, and there we go. Hold up. It's working. All right. Well, we can watch this later. All right.
Yeah.
What's up, man?
What's up, fellas?
Here.
What's up, brother?
Put your phone horizontal. That'll make it. That should. There we go. We're all in now.
Welcome to the show.
So sorry about that. I'm working. What's that?
Yeah, no. Welcome to the show, brother. We're glad to have you on.
Thank you so much for having me, guys. I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
I think your audio is a little behind.
It's fine, Joshua. Josh, we can hear him. It's okay.
You're just good. We're just gonna roll with it. It's fine. We can roll with it. I don't care.
No, we can roll with it perfectly fine. So
actually, it's fixed, so it doesn't even matter.
Okay.
Yeah, no, we can hear you. You're good.
All right. So what we're talking about here, Austin and I mean, how old were we? 10, 11? When I met you, it was
long time
ago. I remembered you as a baseball guy, and then obviously I've followed you on Instagram and all that, and clearly football is your sport now, and then you're going top D3 school in the country. For just those that don't know you, anything like that, just tell us a little about your journey and all that.
Yes, sir. First of all, I just want to congratulate you, Josh. I remember our times together. We were at the BT pool and all that, and I remember you were always successful with whatever you were doing with sports. You were always talking about the newest Raven that you were excited about drafting, and now look where you are. I'm very proud of you, and I just want to say congratulations with everything. But It's crazy. I was a baseball player, St. Paul's in 7th grade. I played baseball in 7th and 8th grade, but the varsity football coach wanted me to be the water boy / manager of the team. So I said, let's do it. I was never a big football guy. So I was at practices, I was at games, I was on the sideline with a clipboard following the head coach around. And then when the team had timeouts, I was on the field listening to them. And those guys were always so big. And I was like, man, one day I hope I can be just like them. So 9th grade came around. That was COVID year. We had a brand new head coach. And I had a conversation with my dad. And I was like, Dad, I'm going out for the manager spot again. And he sat me down. I think we were on the car. And I think he pulled over. And he says, Austin, do you want to be the water boy or do you want to actually play? Because this is the only time that you can do this. This is high school and you can follow your dreams. So I said, you know what? I'm going to try it. So I emailed the head coach, said, Coach, I'm actually not going to be a manager. I'm going to start playing. I'm going to put the helmet on. And the first position that I wanted to do was quarterback. So I always remembered that. And that was COVID year. So there were 5 quarterbacks. And I just worked my way up, really. I got a trainer. And I started training, and I fell in love with it. It was really something that I fell in love with since day one, and ever since then, I knew I wanted to do it in college. So that's where I am today, and I'm extremely appreciative of all the coaches and teammates that got me to here.
You just sound like a quarterback.
Yeah, no.
Like,
one more time.
Have, like,
could you say water boy? Just
yeah, I was waiting for it. This is the Maryland.
The water boy.
Water.
Yeah. That's crazy. This is part of the Baltimore, Maryland, more Philly too, like area.
Yeah. No, I've always heard.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've always heard about the fucking accents, but I've never actually heard one.
You've never actually met someone that says it like that yet? My grandparents, a couple of my grandparents do that too. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. Well, Burns, this is the first time, so
no, you guys, that's crazy, dude.
This area has its own accent. It really did. It really does.
Yeah, but what else was I going to say? So the one question that I really wanted to ask you is, before you made your decision going to Mount Union, how many offers did you get, and like what other offers interested you and everything else?
Yeah. So, well, first I'll say junior year, I didn't really play varsity until halfway through the season. So our starter, he got hurt. He got a concussion in one of the games. That was the 4th game of the season. So I got in with 10 minutes left in the 4th quarter. And then from there on, I practiced really hard and I got the nod for 3 games. And then we didn't win any of those games. So the guy behind me, he took over, and I didn't get to play in the rivalry game that year. So that was something that really, I feel like I had a chip on my shoulder. That made me want to work even harder for the next season. What's that, Josh?
That's a huge rivalry too, by the way.
Yes.
People don't know. That's a massive rivalry.
Boys Lad and St. Paul's, yes. I think that's the biggest rivalry in the state of Maryland, if I'm correct. Yeah. So I didn't get to play in that game. So that made me want to work really hard. So the next season, I worked hard with my trainer, got bigger, faster, stronger. And then this senior season, I was like, I got everything I got. So we had a summer camp with the team at Stevenson University. And that was 7-on-7s. It was like it was 3 nights, 4 days. And we played Westlake High School, not the Texas school. That would be crazy. But the Westlake in Maryland. And I got my first offer from Stevenson University because I didn't really have any film. So they just saw me live in person throwing 7-on-7s. So throughout the season, I got a few more offers, and Mountain Union came about. I went to visit. I visited there 3 times already. And something in the back of my head told me, and this was in the middle of the season, I really loved Mountain Union, like from the start. Just their winning culture. Something in the back of my head, I knew that this place felt special. It felt like a second home. And I wasn't too worried about the divisions, the ego part of it. It was like, where am I going to spend the next 4 years of my life at? So that place felt very special. I was talking to some bigger schools about walking on, some Division I schools. But at the end of the day, Mountain Union had a special place in my heart, and it was a special feeling that I couldn't replace with another school. So
for sure.
Seriously, there's just like this quarterback like personality that you have it, and it doesn't surprise me. When we were younger, you kind of always there's there's like a leadership like quality that you kind of just have or you don't. And it's so obvious. It's just the way like you talk. Like you could do this. Like if you wanted to, like
No, you.
I mean, I know you. I don't know if you want to talk about it now, but I know you interned a little.
No, yeah. For my senior project, I interned Evan Washburn of CBS Sports. Shout out Evan, and
He's St. Paul's guy, right?
He's a Severn guy. Severn School in Annapolis. Yeah. But he visited St. Paul's. We did a round table. The school set that up, and I was at that. And after I was like, hey, I would love to spend my senior project with you and go to a few lacrosse games because it was springtime. I shouted him for some lacrosse games, and I got to see him behind the booth. He wasn't on the field, but he was an analyst commentating. So it was amazing experience.
Actually, I want to talk about lacrosse. That's because this, like your school, really the conference, is some of the top high school lacrosse teams in the country. This is, I mean, for people that don't live around where we live, like this is, when you think of these schools, you think great lacrosse teams, great programs, but there is still something about football that, I mean, everyone loves football, but what is it like going to a school where you are the quarterback, but lacrosse is like their sport? How do you get people like, no, we're a football school now? Have you tried to get that going?
And we had 3 head coaches during my time, during my high school time or middle school / high school time. And they were all like, our goal when they were being hired, our goal is to make it a football school. That was what they were saying. That was their motto. But the players inside knew that's never going to happen.
Yeah.
The school is such a lacrosse known world, like nationally. It's a lacrosse school. And they're like, it's never going to happen. But what we tried to do was try to get the lacrosse players who are spectacular athletes out for football, so that at the same time we can at least try to level it off. But it never really happened. And to be honest, I don't know if it ever will, just because lacrosse is just so big in the state of Maryland. So it's tough to answer your question. But we've tried to do that.
That's so weird that lacrosse is just like the number one sport there. B is like literally when I was in high school, like literally 5 years ago at this point, that's when our school added lacrosse as a sport.
Wow.
That's when it added my sophomore year of high school. Like they officially made it a sport. Like they had it as like a club that you could join, but then like our district and everything made it a sport. And to see you guys just talk about it like that. So do people really like at your school, like, because the big thing, we were a football school, so everybody would go to the football games. And
Burns, where are you from? Where are you from, Burns?
I'm about an hour outside of Chicago.
Okay, got it.
So, what's it called? So when we would have lacrosse games, like not a lot of people would go to it. Do people really pack the house for these games?
Usually, yes. And they're streamed nationally. Like I have, so for example, I have some cousins in Florida, and they'll mention some kids at my school. They're like, oh yeah, that kid's on blah, blah, blah. That kid's on their team. And I'm like, how do you know that kid? I'm like super close with that kid. How do you know my friends? Because usually, like, everybody's close at my school. There's friend groups, but not really. And usually all the athletes are friends. So they knew the lacrosse kid's name by name. They're like, oh yeah, Joe Schmo, he's like a 5-star. He's going here. I'm like, how do you know all this? But it's just so national. Yeah. Even though it's Maryland focused, they just know these kids.
Yeah,
that's
crazy,
ridiculous, dude. That's such a reality change. That's weird.
It's his group of schools, like in his conference. Those are the schools. They're really one of the very few schools, but it's his whole conference. That's just their culture. It's cool. It's a bubble. The Maryland private schools are a massive bubble that it's very difficult to explain.
Yeah.
That's crazy. All right, Austin, I got another one too. So you started your whole senior season. What was the high point during that senior season, and what was the low point during that senior season?
It's a very good question. I would say my high point is getting really close with the teammates. I mean, it was nothing like, I was just talking to one of my close teammates. We miss football so much that it's like, it wasn't even about the actual sport, even though it was. But at the same time, getting close with the guys and our coaches too, like the practices were so much fun because we made it so much fun. The players made it fun. The coaches made it fun. That like we miss going out to lunch during summer practices. Like those small things. Like I'm sure you've seen like that clip of that college player. What are you gonna miss from college? Like really going out to lunch with the boys. Like that's what he said. It's so true. It sounds so cliche, but it's so true because even though we're a small school, small private school, we get so close that we feel like brothers at sometimes, and at the low points, for example, like we're still with each other. Like some guys will cry and some guys won't cry, but it's the relationships that I will miss. That's the high point. The low point, I would be remiss not to say a rivalry game. We probably had close to 3,000 people in our stands, and it's not a big stadium at all.
3,000 people in that stadium?
It's definitely over 2,000. I mean, there were people on the hill. There were kids everywhere. I would say in between 3,000. But we lost the game 21-20 to Boys Latin. We came down the field with 2 minutes left. We scored to be down 1, and our team chose to go for 2, and it just stung. Like it stung in a place that, and we didn't get it. Yeah, if you couldn't tell, and it stung so bad that words can't even explain. But going on to college now, I have another chip on my shoulder. That like, hey, when we're that tight in the game, I know what it feels like to lose in this moment. So that if that answers your question, yeah,
that's a good thing to have. That is a good thing to have, knowing how to lose. That's another trait of a quarterback that you need to have, because there's a lot of people out there that can't handle it, and that's what takes them away from sports. All right, Joshua, go ahead.
What was that play call? The 2-point conversion. I'm sure you
quick version. Yeah. So it was so we called rolling out. It was called softball north. And then pick. So our signal was pick in the nose. And well, the thing was, we ran it 2-3 weeks before to go up by 1. We didn't win the game, but it was our last possession. We went for 2, and we got it successfully. But teams watch film, and the defense watched the film. They knew it was coming. They called it out mid-play, but we still ran it, and we didn't get it. Unfortunately, it's literally just like the Chiefs. It's literally rolling out, and there's a guy sitting right there because there's a guy picking him off. So we call it rub or pick. And, we didn't execute. It happens, but that's what it was called.
For sure. I'm also reading up here that you are the school record holder for the highest completion percentage in a single game.
Yes.
What was the game like? Who was it against? What was the score? Everything.
So it was Annapolis Eric Christian. It was our first game of the season. I'll say that they were coming up from the C conference. So they were newly into the B conference. And it was the first game of the season. What's that, Josh?
So that's my conference, the C conference. We don't have a football team, but that's the Genesee conference right there. C conference.
C conference, MIAA. So they were coming up, and it was we call week 0. So week 0, we beat them 55-0. I threw 9. I don't remember how many yards. It was probably like 158 yards, something around there. And it was just. I remember one of my receivers. I think I was like at point like 7 for 7, and we came off the sideline after a touchdown, and he's like, Austin, I want to say something to you really bad right now, but I'm not going to say it. And I'm like, what? Did I'm perfect right now? And he's like, yeah. And I'm lucky enough, knock on wood, I'm lucky enough that I kept it perfect and I didn't jinx it. So,
That's ridiculous. So 55-0. How much of the field did you actually see in that game before coach was like, all right, come on?
The entire game.
You played the entire game when you were up 55-0?
Well, I think it was definitely a running clock. We were up 35-0 at half, and then we started to just take away time on the clock, sort of run the ball, and I was in the whole game.
Wow, that's ridiculous. Have you ever been on the other side of a loss like that, like 55-0, something like that, like your school or no?
I sophomore year we played Archbishop Curley.
Jesus, yeah.
We lost 65-7, or 65-6. I'm sorry, 65-6. We didn't have a kicker, so we went for 2. Didn't get it, and I'm trying to remember this year. I don't think it was anything that crazy, but I've definitely had my fair share of losses.
Jesus, bro. Oh my gosh.
So you were a baseball guy.
Baseball guy.
What position were you?
So I was really first base was my primary position, and then as soon as I started playing high school ball, I really transitioned to center field.
Okay.
I love center field. Like I could roam around, make some plays, throw the ball back in. I mean, I love center field. And then sophomore, going into junior year, I had to quit baseball for football because I said to myself, if I'm going to do this, I really got to do it, because I was throwing for baseball every day of the week, and then I was training 3 times a week for football, and my arm could not take it. So I told myself I got to choose one, and I chose football.
Wow. Did you ever get, before you stopped playing baseball, did you ever get any offers or anything for baseball at all, or no?
No, I was just a baseball kid at heart. I wasn't like you couldn't tell me from a group of kids. I mean, fielding was my thing. But other than that, no, I was never a big baseball stud.
I mean, here, very BT Camps question here. Did you do the baseball weeks and the football weeks at sports camp?
I
don't remember you doing the football weeks.
No, I didn't do football.
I didn't think so.
Did you ref? I remember you reffing.
I'm a year older than you. I was not reffing when you were there.
I remember maybe that was just a sport camp, but no, I definitely did baseball. Yeah.
I mean, I was in the senior camp. I only did sports camp for the football weeks.
Yeah.
But,
got it.
Yeah, I was just wondering because I was trying to think back to it, and I couldn't remember you. I remember you in senior camp. I didn't remember you in sports camp, so I was wondering. But that was a very BT Camps question. But anyway,
so yeah, born in Philadelphia, big Eagles fan,
big Birds fan. Yes.
What's the expectation this year?
Make the Super Bowl
again already,
and then execute. I mean, I think last season we could all say that coaching was a big thing, and the morale of the team. I think they just got too high, and then they just got too low. And I think part of that was the big Dom thing, if you guys remember, with the security guy.
I agree.
Yeah, I think that was something that held them low. But I think this year they could get off to a hot start and keep it. And now they have a strong running game. Knock on wood. The only thing is Jason Kelce. I think that's a big loss, just from a veteran standpoint. But we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. Also, I had to ask. Go ahead, Joshua.
We don't get very many Ravens-Eagles games. We got one this year.
But I think you're getting one this year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So
but
there's a good amount of Eagles fans around here. I mean, it's obviously the Ravens. And then if you're not a Ravens fan, there's a lot of Commanders, Eagles, Giants, not a lot of Jets, but a lot of Giants, and then a good amount of Patriots. That's kind of what I would.
You'd agree with that? Patriots fans everywhere. Yeah. There are Patriots fans everywhere.
Yeah.
So how far away are you guys from Philly then?
Well, I would say an hour and a half, 2 hours. I think 2 hours.
That's it? To Philly? Dude, that's so weird how the East Coast is just set up, because it seems like you guys are just so fucking close to everything.
DC is like an hour.
DC's an hour. How far is New York?
Traffic.
I was just in New York. New York is 3 hours, 15 minutes. Oh, no. I usually take a train if I'm going to New York, but I think it drives 3 hours.
That's New Jersey,
3 hours.
Are you fucking kidding me? So you guys just have this little close right there, right? Because all it is here is you have Chicago. I'm an hour away from Chicago. I'm an hour and a half away from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And then there's fucking nothing. It's all just corn. That's all it is. It's just cornfields, farms. That's it. It's crazy, bro.
Yeah.
But going back to football and going back to you playing, I played football from second grade until my freshman year of high school. I played my freshman year, and then I started to do media stuff instead, obviously being on here and shit like that. But the practices were fucking brutal. That's all I remember. That first summer of summer conditioning and everything, it was brutal. What was the worst punishment or the worst moment that you had in practice?
Well, we have, Josh, I don't know if you've been to St. Paul's campus, but we have a huge hill.
And I know what you're talking about.
Like Burns, I mean a huge hill. There's a bottom and there's a top, and at the top there's a bell. And the bell is called the Victory Bell. It's for when we beat Boys Latin in any sport. So any sport will ring it after they beat Boys Latin. Unfortunately, we didn't get to ring it this year. Fun fact, I've never beat Boys Latin in anything in high school, which is the saddest fact of all. But we would have something in the summer called a bell run or a hill run, and you start at the bottom and you run up, and that's after a bad practice. So that's after practice. That's not just run, come back down, chill out. That's after a practice, and then they make you come down, and then you can practice again if they're really harsh. But I remember that, and that was terrible. The people puking, it was terrible.
Oh yeah, no, that was the fucking worst. That I remember track day. I don't know if you guys ever did a track day where you would just run on the track and field instead. That was a horrible day.
We didn't have it.
Oh, you guys not have a track? How's your stadium set up then? Do you not have the track around the football field?
Oh, we have a football field. Yeah.
Oh shit. How many people go to your guys' school? How many people go to your school?
That's a good question. I had I had 100 people in my grade. There's usually 100 people in each high school grade, so that's like 400, maybe 450, and then there's middle school. So I don't know. It's a good question.
Oh, so you had like 100 people in your graduating class?
Yeah.
Josh, how many people were in your graduating class?
Yeah, I'm very small. I'm much smaller than that. It was like 40 something, 50 something.
Are you fucking kidding me?
No, Gems is a small school. That's
dude. This is mind-blowing.
ADHD, all that stuff. Like school for those kids, like crazy people. That's my people. All right, that's a very small school, but
this is mind-blowing to me. No, both. I had 1,250 kids in my graduating class.
You see, that's mind-blowing to me.
That's crazy to me. Yeah.
That's ridiculous. That's crazy. So you guys, Austin, I know that Josh, you're like what, 30 minutes outside of Baltimore?
I'm 20 minutes outside of Baltimore.
20, 25. Yeah, like.
Okay. Wait. So is it not like set up like how many? So you guys both went to private schools, yeah?
Right.
How many kids went to like the public schools? Like, are those big?
Those are pretty big, but they're not like other country, like other part of the country big. I heard like in other states it's crazy big, but they're not that big, but they're big compared to us.
Like, let's see, like here, I don't know exactly, but I'm gonna go to like Pikesville High and see how many.
I'm sorry, it just always blows my fucking mind. Like even people from here who are from like just straight up farmlands, and they're like, "Yeah, we had 18 kids in my graduating class." Like that's so ridiculous to me. That's crazy. That blows my fucking mind whenever I hear it. That's crazy. 100 kids in your graduating class, and what did like a fourth of your school from 9th grade to 12th play football?
So yeah, we were a small school, and we're not like crazy athletics. So we had how many kids this year? Maybe 50 kids on the football team.
Damn, I mean that's a regular size team. That's a regular size team.
It was like 40.
Is that varsity and JV?
Yeah, well, so we didn't have a JV team. That was all varsity because we didn't have enough to be a JV team this year.
No way.
Yeah.
That's crazy. We had varsity, JV, sophomore, freshman A, and freshman B team.
Wow.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. Well, now it's only freshman, sophomore, JV, and senior because our middle schools, I don't know about you guys. So when does your football start at your high school?
8th grade or 7th and 8th grade.
7th and 8th. And is it tackle in 7th and 8th grade?
Tackle and 5th and 6th is flag football.
Okay, because they changed our middle school 7th and 8th grade is flag now, and only high school is tackle football.
Okay.
So that's crazy.
Interesting. That stuff is
I hate it. I hate it that they're changing all the flag. I was playing fucking tackle football when I was 10 years old in 2nd grade. Like my head's probably fucked up because of it, but shit happens, man.
Explains a lot, yeah.
All right. What else did I want to ask about? So you were the team captain as well. Dude, your accolades are pretty damn good. I'm not gonna lie. So earlier you talked about D1 teams and walking on at some D1 schools.
Yeah.
What schools were you looking at D1?
So I've been to a lot of different schools on different visits. So I was at Maryland a few times for the Maryland-Michigan game. That was an amazing experience. Well, so I'll add to some of these were based on admission. So these weren't like, we're going to get you in because you're that high of a caliber of recruit. You're a guy that if you get in, we can have you on the team. So Maryland was one. I've been to the University of Dayton 2-3 times. I was at UConn twice, but that wasn't really. I was at a spring practice invite, but that wasn't really like a recruit. That was like, oh, you're on our email list, like you can come. A few others, LIU, Long Island University. I was there, and Delaware. I was there
Fighting
twice.
Flaccos.
I was really close to going to Delaware until a few things happened, and then Mount Union popped up, and I was like, I would love Mount Union liked me a lot, and I was like, I love the coaching staff in Mount Union. Let's just do it. Like, I don't want to jeopardize anything. But Delaware was probably that Division I school that in Maryland, if I had that opportunity, I would go to. But Mount Union happened, so I'm happy.
Delaware's going up to D1 in football this year. This upcoming year will be Delaware's.
Well,
first year,
they were already Division I. They were FCS, but they're going.
Yeah, that's right. Because they're with Towson. I call it Division 1.5.
Right.
But yeah, same
no,
thing.
that is Division 1.5. I go to an FCS school. So, but so also with Mount Union, I mean, very rich football history there. Obviously,
I was about to get to this. Yeah,
yes, extremely rich. When do you actually start practicing? Like when does your season start?
So we just got that today. It's so fun. So we just got our all season or summer conditioning and training program today in the email. But I'm going to be going to Mount Union August 9th. That's when I'm there. Move-in day is August 11th, and practice starts August 13th. So that's the first day that I'm a Raider, basically on the football team, August 13th. But August 9th, I go to Ohio.
But so you do the strength and conditioning and everything at home? You do
at
it
home. Yeah. So I'll be running, lifting, getting bigger, faster, stronger. But it's the same program that they're doing on campus. It's just I can't be on campus for that. Or I mean, I could, but I'm 5.5 hour drive, hour flight, and then an hour drive. There's also gonna be 7-on-7s on Saturdays, so I might pop out for a few of those.
Yeah, for sure. Looking at it, 30 titles in 35 years.
You know what that says to me? That says to me that it's time to go to D2.
Yeah,
that's what that says to me.
Yeah, we've asked about that many times on my visits. They said that they could be Division II school, or even FCS school. But the thing with that, moving up in conference or division, they would have to bring their other teams, and their other teams are not as high of a caliber of teams in that sport as their football team is.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
Damn, that's so weird to look at, just seeing how crazy that football program is.
Yeah, there's dominant, and then there's like these numbers that we're seeing, like 214-2 in conference play is, again, that means you need to move to a new conference. And that's crazy.
Yeah, that is ridiculous. Dude, I'm guessing also at the same time, have you been to Mount Union for a game there or no?
I have not. No.
And do they get crazy there? Because I'm guessing that whole town rallies around this team.
Yes, I've seen many pictures. Because Ohio, if you think about the state of Ohio, what do they have other than football? So, I mean, it's them and Ohio State are really the big two. I mean, there's Akron. Akron's going to be 25 minutes away from me. Akron's not doing too well, though. They're not doing too hot. But hopefully they'll get right on the track. But Mountain Union, they bring a large crowd. And they have the oldest stadium in Ohio. So there's some history there. 13 national championships. It's just nuts. And they get their crowd. They get their fair share of crowd.
How far are you from Columbus?
I'm probably 3 hours from Columbus. I'm an hour from Cleveland.
Okay.
Ugh, that's crazy.
Browns and Bengals fans. Not that you care, you're an Eagles fan, but
right. Although the Ravens are playing the Browns week 18, so I might be there for that.
Yeah, you can make your way out there. That's another question. Is throughout the football season, since you're an Eagles fan, like, do you still have the time and everything to watch the games, keep track of everything, like, throughout the season? Because I know with that in school, it's a lot fucking going on.
Yeah,
there's a lot going on.
I'll be able to. The only thing is our games are on Saturdays, and if we're traveling, we get back, I don't know, Sunday morning. So I won't be able to go to any NFL games, unfortunately, unless mean, because in my books, we're making the national championship. We're winning the national championship. So that could go until what? That could go until November, December, and that's when primetime NFL's happening before the Super Bowl time, like the playoffs. So unfortunately, I won't be able to go to any of those games, but I'll be able to watch them.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Another question about you playing at school. Quarterback, obviously, you're not walking in there. You got an offer to play there. What's the competition look like? Are you competing for your spot? What's the word with that?
Yeah. So I am competing, to answer your question. And in my opinion, I love competition. That's what brought the best out of me throughout high school. So I'm more than happy to compete. I'm not going to be given anything. I'm going to earn everything. So I'm going in there. I think the plan is to bring in, this is going to sound crazy to you guys, 7, 8 freshman quarterbacks are coming in. Ooh. 7, 8. And there's some there already. There's one that just transferred Division I. So there's guys leaving, there's guys coming in, because Mountain Union is known as the big competition place, the football farm, they call it. And there's probably going to be, I've heard stories that there's 200 guys on the roster, close to that number. And there's going to be a lot of quarterbacks, and I'm excited to compete. I'm excited for the future, and whatever I need to do to win that job, I'm going to do. So that's what's going to happen.
100%, brother.
What was Tom Brady, the 8th or 9th quarterback in Michigan when he first got there? Something like that?
Work your way up the chain. That's all you got to do, man.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You got Drew Brees, Brock Purdy, pocket passer is what I'm hearing.
Yeah. Those are the guys I look up to. Indeed. Yes.
What about their games in particular? Is it about them that just?
Well, those guys were always doubted, number one, as you could tell with this Purdy story. So they always had a chip on the shoulder. 2, they're undersized. They can't do anything about that. I can't do anything about that. I'm 5'11", 5'10 and a half.
Oh, Crimea River, 5'11". 5'4" on a good day. I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, Josh's a little shorty.
I don't want to hear shit about that.
Josh, it's a little different when you get to college, and those guys are huge.
Yeah,
and you got your own offensive lineman. So those guys were always doubted. It was my first point. Those guys were always doubted. They always had a chip on the shoulder, and those guys are hungry as all get out. And they just continue to stand in the pocket, make plays. Some of the throws that they make are incredible. And I can't believe fans have the guts to say that those guys are game managers, even though it is true. Some of the best are game managers. Tom Brady was a game manager. But you shouldn't use that as a letdown to say that they're so good. I mean, those guys are so underrated. It's crazy. So
being a game manager is not a bad thing.
Exactly. Exactly.
No, it's not a bad thing whatsoever.
Game managers also win.
Exactly.
Yeah. I went through everything, man. I am excited to watch what you do at Mount Union. Yeah, I definitely have my eyes on, because also right down the road from me at home, literally 10 minutes away, is North Central College. I'm guessing you've heard the name now.
Yeah.
They won it a couple years ago. Like literally from where I'm sitting right now, it is 10 minutes away from me. So I've heard about them winning and everything, but I'd love to see Austin Gordon in the championship game.
Yeah.
North Central. That would be pretty sweet. Josh, you got anything else to add?
Yeah, man. It's just cool. You know, it is cool. Obviously we don't know each other from school, but the Maryland private school bubble is something that you hear around here so much that, like, if you go to like BL, St. Paul's, Loyola, Calvert Hall, Gilman, like, it's so connected. I didn't go to any of those schools, but Baltimore also just has they call it Smaltimore. That's another thing you hear all the time. So it's cool. Like, just someone that, like, I knew we were young. I haven't talked to you that much in a while, but like, I've been following you. It's been cool. I'm happy for you, man. I really am.
Awesome.
You always like nothing but like a nice guy. So you're like, it's easy to root for.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Same goes to you, Josh. I'm super happy for everything you're doing and you're going to do. And it's awesome to see, man. You guys at the, were you both at the Senior Bowl?
Yeah.
Senior Bowl and.
Oh, I wasn't there. He was there. He was there. Yeah.
Yeah. How was that, Josh?
That was sick, man. It's so cool. It's cool when you see it. Even like someone like you, though, especially someone like, because you're younger than me. But it's weird to think of, like, the guys the senior ball, they're only a couple of years older than me. Next year's incoming freshman class is younger than me. Like, that's so weird.
Yeah.
But it's cool to like cover all that. And like, it's living the dream.
Well, hey, if you guys ever
what we talked about,
cover some big time D3 ball, let me know.
For sure, man.
For sure, brother.
Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you for coming on, brother. We appreciate it.
I'll see you, bro.
Thank you.
This is awesome.
Yeah, man. He's a good guy. Like, that was one thing that I remembered about him. I mean, I'm not gonna pretend like we were like best friends with him, but like we were friends like at camp, and it was the one thing I always remembered about him was he was like one of the nicest people. So it's cool.
He's a really nice guy.
Part of me was honestly, I'll be honest, like part of me, because it's been a few years and he's had so much success. Like I was wondering if he still had that same like just cool energy, like nice, and he does. It's cool. Like he's the same kid that I remember.
Nice dude. Yeah, no, he was a really nice guy. I enjoyed that interview a lot. That was a good time. And I hope that you guys all did watching as well. Yeah. Let's think. Monday, we are going to be doing our receivers.
You want to do receivers? I thought we were going to do tight ends.
Yeah, no, we'll do tight ends on Monday.
You said we were going to save receivers.
Yes, that's right. Okay, Monday we'll do that, and then Wednesday I think that we'll just do like a fuck around, like yuppie special. I don't know. We'll just fuck around on Wednesday.
I mean, that'll be the day before the NBA finals start.
Yeah, so we'll talk some finals ball. We'll talk everything else. Great matchup too. But then, yeah, that's really about it. And then we'll figure it the fuck out on Friday, whatever we're doing.
Do you want to get into anything real quick, or you want to just wrap up? I'm good either way.
I really got nothing right now, man. I really got nothing. That's really about it. But yeah, no, I enjoyed that interview. I actually had a lot of fun doing that. And we should try and get some more guests to interview that.
I agree.
Yeah. So we'll talk. Maybe we get somebody on next week. But thank you guys so much for joining. We appreciate it. Have a good weekend, ladies and gentlemen. And always remember that the Chicago Bears are going to break the Hard Knocks viewership record the first episode that comes out. See you guys.
What is that record? Okay. Well.